I want to first start off by saying happy Thanksgiving to everybody, to you, yours, your family, and all. I'm hoping that a lot of families are getting together today, and and I know there's a lot of families that are not fortunate enough to have other families with them. So I hope that those people are getting some kind of closure and they find a good place to stay where they can get some family love, even if it's not their own family. So I just want to just say happy Thanksgiving and keep everyone in your prayers who's not able to join with their family today. Okay, I just want to go off by saying that. Now, I've been sitting up here thinking a lot, and the one thing that's been coming to mind since this whole rioting thing in Ferguson, Missouri, and all, I started thinking, and I started saying to myself, since Darren Wilson has not been indicted, you know, uh, is he the new George Zimmerman? You know, because what it seemed like nowadays is that cops really are getting off when it comes to shooting not just black people. I'm not going to say just black people. I'm talking about a person in general, of any race, of any color. Because look at it like this. In Phoenix, Arizona, people that are Puerto Rican are getting racially profiled as being Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like for black people. There's a lot of black people that get racially profiled to be as a thug or something like that. I mean, they could be going to church. They could be doing good in their life, have good jobs and things like that. And they get racially profiled. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of racial profile, but like I said on my other video, this is not about race. This is about the 5% of prejudiced cops that are shooting people, just because they have the power to do it. We see this more and more often nowadays. We see this a lot more often. Even the Arabs. The Arabs are still today, and it's been 11 years since 9/11. Arabs are still today being racially, they're being profiled. You know what I'm saying? So let's just not make this as a black thing, because this is not a black thing. This is an American thing. This is the cops abusing their authority to do whatever they want to whomever they want. White people has been tased too. You know what I'm saying? White people has been shot. You don't hear much of it because we always hearing about a black boy getting shot. That's mostly what's going on in the news nowadays. But there are those 5% of the cops. And I mean, like I said in my other video, there are more good cops than there are bad. I believe that. And other people need to believe that too. You need to stop thinking that all of the cops are bad. You're sitting up, I was looking at the whole Ferguson thing, and I'm sitting up here that all of these the cop cars and all of the police cruisers, they're getting tilted over and everything. I mean, man, anybody who's like that, it has a uniform on, you can be, they're already looking at you like, yeah, you're just a part of them. And most of those people out there now, they're just doing their job. They're trying to maintain the peace. Not all of them out there is crooked. Not all of them, they just doing their job. But Ferguson, Missouri, and a lot of these other cities that's doing these protests are not, they're thinking that all these cops are crooked. You know what I'm saying? There's been a couple of instances in a couple of cities that, they have done protests in the street and things like that, block traffic and all. None of this has been as bad as Ferguson, but we don't need people to think that you know, it's just the whole law enforcement thing is all messed up. Everybody is, you know, all of this cops and all the law enforcement, they are just killing people, and nobody's doing anything about it. Like I said, it's only that small few, man. You know. So I want to talk about this whole thing with Darren Wilson and George Zimmerman. If you already know, Darren Wilson has been not indicted for killing of Micheal Brown, and you know, and the Micheal Brown family is really going through a lot right now. They've been asking for peace over and over and over again. They keep asking for peace, and it's sad that a lot of these rioters are not even listening because they want to do what they want to do. I mean, they're going into stores and they're just robbing things and all, and you know, this is messed up, man, and I just can't get over it. I can't get over how people can actually think. How do y'all think? What the things do y'all do? Do y'all even think at all? You know, man, this is really messed up. And we just got over, to make it matters worse, we just got over George Zimmerman. We just got over that. It wasn't too long ago, as a matter of fact. You know what I'm saying? We thought, okay, the whole Trayvon Martin thing, this can all blow over, you know, and you know, George Zimmerman, even though, yeah, I was mad about it too. I was mad that he got off. I was mad about it. Matter of fact, not only did he get off, they gave him the same gun that he shot Trayvon Martin with. I know how messed up that is. You know, to let him have the same gun that he killed Trayvon Martin, it's like, wow. Wow, the judges nowadays, these are the people that we appoint judge, that we vote for. That's why a lot of times I don't believe in voting. I really don't. Even Barack Obama. I don't believe in that yes I can anymore. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it. When 2016 comes, we need a better president. I'm sorry. I can't. Barack Obama, you know, speaking of Barack Obama, by the way, his hometown of Chicago is all messed up. And he's doing nothing about his own place of his hometown. He's doing nothing about it. Chicago's worse than ever. The South towns of Chicago, they're worse than ever. He's doing nothing about his own town. So I don't believe in the yes I can and all that. You know, when 2 years come from now, 2016, let's just get him off office. Because he's doing nothing. Oh my God. Oh my goodness, man. This country is so messed up. It's so messed up full of people that just don't think. They do more action than they do thinking. It's so messed up nowadays. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how many gun buybacks you have or whatever. There's still going to be shooting. There's still going to be cops abusing their powers. You know, those crooked cops, that 5% of the crooked cops out of 100, they're still going to abuse their power. You know, and it's just, it just gets bad. It just gets worse. And I hate to look at the news because I live in Buffalo, okay? There has been a lot of that in Buffalo. You know the thing about this city here? I see protests about people, you know, they'll protest about something that's happened in a different state, a different city, whatever. But the majority of murders that has happened here in Buffalo is by young black teenagers shooting other young black teenagers. But we don't have much protest about that. When George Zimmerman got off, we had a protest about that. You know, when Trayvon Martin was shot, he had a protest about that. But anything that goes on in this city, you know, when it involves young black kids, there has been no protest. I haven't seen none. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, man, you know. So that's my question. What's in the title? That's my question. Is Darren Wilson the new George Zimmerman? And I have to say, in a lot of ways, yes. You know, I mean, George Zimmerman was a part of law enforcement in a way. I mean, he was a captain, you know. He knew, like, a lot of cops in his community, even though, you know, Zimmerman, he wanted to be a cop, but he couldn't cut it, you know what I'm saying? He liked to be around cops. He loved just acting like a cop and being, you know, and trying to be a cop. He thought he was a cop in this, you know, suburban little area that he was in, but he was just a captain of the community team, you know. And he got acquitted of his charges. There was no riots, though. There was no riots. People just got angry. Black Panthers wanted to go and they sent threats to him, but there was no riots. You know? It's funny how, you know, and Trayvon Martin didn't even go and rob a store. He ain't go rob some cigarettes and stuff like that. He was just walking down in a suburban area and he got shot. You know, from this guy, George Zimmerman, who was sitting around just following them. He was just following them. You know, I guess they don't have black people walking around in their area like that. I guess they, you know, if you have a hoodie on, you are a troublemaker wherever George Zimmerman, whatever little area that he's at. If you got a hoodie on, it's at night, you're a troublemaker. You know, George Zimmerman will sit up there talking about how there was a house that got robbed or something like that. And, you know, he's been watching very closely about, you know, what things that happen in these communities and stuff like that. You know, and he's saying this was happening frequently. You know what I'm saying? So all of a sudden he's watching at night, you know, if there's somebody suspicious walking down the street, he's going to stop them, whatever, because he's just captain. He thinks himself as a police officer, you know, George Zimmerman, you're just a captain of a community. You cannot, in no way, shape, or form, you cannot go up to a black man or anybody like that and you know, and tell them to leave your area. You're not a cop. You're just a captain of a neighborhood community. But he thought he was a cop, you know? So, here we go. Months later, after George Zimmerman is acquitted, now we got Darren Wilson, you know, and I looked at the ABC interview that they had with Darren Wilson, and I got to tell you, man, I didn't see no remorse coming from him. I didn't see it. I did not see no remorse. If it was some remorse, it was fake as all hell. I didn't see no remorse coming from this man. To him, in his eyes, in his mind, he was doing his job. A man's running down the street. He has no weapon. Even if, you know, he may or may have not, you know, I wasn't there, you know, he may or may have not struck you in the face and you got a couple of bruises, but did Micheal Brown pull out any kind of weapon and try to threaten with your life? Darren Wilson said that he tried to go for his gun. Wow. Ain't that something where a cop would say that a black person or a person in general is always just trying to go for the gun, especially when I'm not making this a racial thing. Like I said, I'm not making this a racial thing. Let me be perfectly clear about this. I'm not making this a racial thing. But this is always something where a cop would say about a black person going for their gun. You know what I'm saying? And Darren Wilson talking about I was fearful for my life, whatever. So he pulls out the gun. While the kid is running down the street, he goes, he puts his gun out, you know, and he goes and shoot him. He was 100-something feet down the street. He had no, it wasn't like Micheal Brown turned around and was shooting at him. That wasn't the case. That didn't happen like that. You know what I'm saying? He was running, and, you know, how can you be fearful of your life? I just don't understand that, okay? I just don't understand that. I don't understand it. But you know what can you do? It is what it is. But I think that Darren Wilson is the new George Zimmerman. Here we go again, almost a year later. Here we go again. You know what's going to happen in the future? I'm hoping it's not going to happen, but I'm seeing that it might happen. What's going to happen is this. There are people that's going to come together from different cities, and they're going to have a bigger protest. And then they're going to have more National Guard come in trying to control the situation. They got probably some secret meetings going on in Ferguson, and they're going to make this matter a lot worse than what it is right now. It really is. It really is. We don't need no more cops being killed, first of all. We don't need that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know about the protesters. I know it's like more than 80% of the people that do protest in Ferguson are black, okay? But, you know, we need a community of people of different races to come together peacefully so that these kind of incidents, you know, these kind of things, these incidences, whatever, doesn't happen again. Cops need to stop abusing their power, period. There's been a lot of that in Buffalo, but, you know, the cops, these people that are prejudiced, you know, that are racist, whatever you call it, they need to stop abusing their power. They're abusing it way too much, especially with the taser. They're basically taser happy. They're taser happy. They will tase the hell out of you in a minute. You know? So I'm asking myself for people, please, man, we need more peaceful protests. This do not need to escalate into something bigger than what it is right now. Ferguson right now is on lockdown. They're on lockdown. They like I said before, they have martial law. And, you know, they had broadcasters, whatever, over there, reporters over there, right at the street where all the rioting happened. All you see is cops around. No one's coming in the city. No one's going out of the city, you know. They have still burnt up buildings that's on fire that they have to control. You know what I'm saying? They are not looking for another one of these again. It was anarchy. It was straight anarchy. If you can think of anything else, you know, about what happened on a couple of days ago, it was pure anarchy. And then that does not need to happen again. You would think that something like that would happen in a different country somewhere, in Pakistan or Iran or something like that, you know, where they are strictly governed over there. They're more strict over there in these different countries than they are here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, you'll never really see any violence in England because they don't carry guns. Nope, they don't carry guns in England. That's how you know the crime rate over there is way low. They don't carry guns. Not even the cops carry guns, from what I heard anyway. But, man, so I was just sitting up here thinking, I said, wow, Darren Wilson is the new George Zimmerman. And it's sad, man. It's sad how this whole thing transpired. Especially, why would you make that verdict? And let me say this another thing, too. Why would you make that verdict late at night at 9 o'clock? Damn prime time. You're gonna make a decision like that and then broadcast it when everybody's waiting that night for the verdict to happen. Everybody's waiting. This happened when Obama was making his speech. That's when all the rioting happened. And it happened late at night. Why would you make a decision to broadcast that and to say this guy is not indicted 9, 10 o'clock at night? Why would you do that? It makes no sense. I guess they didn't expect a riot to happen. They were expecting this peaceful protesting to keep going on. Well, you was wrong. Businesses lost millions of dollars. Millions of dollars of businesses' merchandise is up in flames. You could have did it in the morning, but no, you did it late at night. And that was the consequence of doing that. It just don't make no sense. So I'm going to end this now, but I have to say, please once again pray for the Micheal Brown family and to hope that this doesn't really happen again, because we need more peaceful resolutions, and we need some kind of way for these prejudiced officers to stop abusing their power so much. I mean, you got to do your job, but do your job right. Do the job the way you was trained to do. Don't over abuse your powers, because the people start to look at you like, for another black person, or, somebody just says something to you, you're going to beat the hell out of them. You're going to shoot them. You're going to tase them. And people shouldn't think like that. Your job is to protect the public, not to abuse the public. This is Darren Williams, and I'm out. Peace.